Another Sunday, another Game 7, and in Oklahoma City, the storm is howling. But inside that arena, there's one man who never flinches, Nikola Jokic. The Joker has been here before, championship scars on his back and a basketball mind 2 steps ahead of the game. This is where he thrives. Let's go to the data. Denver is the most efficient passing team in the NBA, 31 assists per game, first in the league. They operate with surgical precision, even when the pace is slow. Their true shooting percentage, 60.4%, second best in the league. The moment never rattles them, but they are tired. 13 playoff games deep, and every minute has cost them something. Meanwhile, OKC has the wind of youth at their backs. Gilgeous-Alexander leads a squad that ranks first in defensive rating and free throw percentage. They're faster, deeper, and rested. The books say Thunder by 8.5. That's a massive spread for a Game 7. You can thank OKC's dominance during the regular season and their league-best 68 Pythagorean wins. But playoff basketball isn't about regular season math. It's about resolve, about tempo, about possession-to-possession execution. And Denver knows that terrain like the back of their hand. Jokic has averaged 55 PRA in road games this series. That means when the lights are bright, his output spikes. He absorbs the pressure and makes it his. Even if Aaron Gordon doesn't play, the Nuggets will lean into their core: Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and a bench that's bruised but seasoned. On the other side, SGA is a menace. His 28.4 playoff average could explode if he decides to go full alpha. And at home, he's been unstoppable. But the question isn't whether OKC wins. The question is whether they win by 9. That's a different equation entirely. The spread is the story. The books want you to believe this game is over before it starts, that Denver is just a tired champ staggering toward the exit. But champions don't go quietly. They drag you into the deep water. And sometimes they pull you under. And today's AI pick is Denver Nuggets plus 8.5. Let's see if youth runs past wisdom, or if the crown hangs on for one more war. Anna's up next.
Toronto's heart has been broken so many times in May, you'd think the city would stop hoping, but they don't. They line up outside Scotiabank Arena in the rain, in the snow, in disbelief, year after year, because this team means everything. And tonight, with the ghosts of 1967 swirling in the rafters, the Maple Leafs host Game 7. This series has been chaos. Florida has played with power and speed, dragging the defending champs through emotional quicksand. The Panthers looked like the deeper team after Game 5, but then Joseph Woll showed up with a shutout on the road in Game 6 and changed the entire story. Toronto blocked 31 shots that night. That's not just effort, that's desperation. Mitch Marner was everywhere. Austin Matthews snapped the deadlock. And most importantly, Bobrovsky blinked, twice. Suddenly, all the pressure shifts to Florida. Now they walk into Scotiabank Arena with history pressing down on them. They're 3-1 all-time in Game 7s and road-tested, but they know this crowd is different. And they know Toronto has the better goaltender right now. Woll has been a wall. Bobrovsky's glove has been shaky. Florida's penalty minutes are climbing, and their power play has cooled off. If this turns into a grinder, Toronto has the edge. The Leafs win face-offs. They control pace. And when they don't, their blue line has been bailing them out. The narrative around this franchise has always been failure. But they've now won 16 of their last 20 games and 8 of their last 9 at home. And when you watch how they've responded to adversity, how they've adjusted their zone entries, neutralized Barkov, and hunted second-chance rebounds, this doesn't feel like the same Leafs team. The AI model gives Toronto a 56.4% win probability on home ice. And even if Stolarz returns, Bobrovsky's play lately suggests the net is vulnerable. The Leafs are playing disciplined hockey, winning the special teams battle, and absorbing pressure without panicking. This isn't about exercising ghosts anymore, it's about finishing the job. And today's AI pick is Toronto Maple Leafs moneyline. You want data? They've got it. You want a reason? we've given it. But this pick's about something bigger than numbers. It's about rewriting legacy. Now, if you thought Game 7 in Toronto was intense, wait until you hear what's about to go down in the WNBA.
Elvis. Connecticut isn't preparing for a game. They're walking into a trap. You saw it. Washington's first win wasn't just a box score. It was a blueprint. Elite execution in motion. And no one noticed. Look deeper. 50.8% from the field. 50% from three. They were cutting through lanes with surgical clarity. Ball movement, spacing, tempo. All synchronized. Not rushed, not random. Controlled aggression. You could see it in Citron's footwork. In Atkins' decision-making. You saw it in Slim's poise at the elbow. Meanwhile, Connecticut opens their season today. No rhythm, no live fire, no prep, you can't simulate game speed, and the Mystics are already mid-stride. Now look at the pace, Elvis. Washington ran a 76.8, fifth in the league. Connecticut lags at 75.8. On paper, it's close. But pace doesn't exist in a vacuum. The Mystics forced tempo through turnovers. Just 7 of them last game. Number 1 in the league. You know what that means? More possessions, more clean looks, more chaos for the Sun to clean up. And they won't. Connecticut rebounds better. Yes, but rebounds mean little if you're chasing transition buckets. And they will be. Because when you're 11th in threes made and giving up over 50% from deep, your perimeter gets torched. That's not a theory, Elvis. That's a fact in motion. Let's talk about pressure. Everyone sees DC's defense. They don't see how it translates to offense. 7 steals, fast breaks, secondary breaks, misdirection out of timeouts. Everything deliberate. Connecticut? They play reactively. They pass like they're waiting for permission. Washington plays like they already own the clock. This isn't about who wins. This is about inevitability. Both teams will get their points. And they'll get them fast. Don't let last year's metrics cloud your judgment. This is a different Mystics squad. Leaner, hungrier, sharper. Connecticut has shooters, yes. But shooters need rhythm. And Washington is going to disrupt it with pressure, then punish it with pace. And today's AI pick is over 154.5. 154.5 isn't a line. It's a line in the sand. And both teams will step over it by the third quarter. On to our fourth game. WNBA. The Lynx versus the Sparks.
Krista here. This is the final game of the slate, and it might be the one nobody's watching, but it's the one we're watching closest. The Sparks and the Lynx. 2 teams that showed out in their openers. But this line, it's off. And we know why. Minnesota just dropped 99 on Dallas. Nafisa Collier dropped 34. Courtney Williams threw in 25 and nearly hit a double-double with 9 assists. The Lynx shot 53% from the field and looked borderline unstoppable. They led the league in assist percentage and showed it on every possession. So why are they only favored by 5.5? Let's flip it. The Sparks? They beat Golden State by 17. Kelsey Plum exploded for 37. Hamby dominated the paint with 14 and 10. Rickea Jackson quietly stacked a 13.5 rebound line and hit 3 from deep. This isn't last year's Sparks. They added star power and structure, and it's showing. Now here's the mismatch. The Sparks are dead last in rebounds, but top 2 in free throw percentage. They don't miss at the line. The Lynx dominate in assists and pace, but turn the ball over more. What you're really betting on here is tempo versus execution. Minnesota might win, but the Sparks? They're not getting blown out at home. Not with Plum and Hamby locked in. Not with the line holding steady at plus 5.5 despite the public hammering Minnesota after that 99-point show. The sharp side is where the books don't flinch. And today's AI pick is Sparks plus 5.5. The dogs are barking. We're listening. Lilith, take the floor.
4 games. 4 verdicts. And everyone came with blood on the line. The AI didn't blink when it stared down Game 1. Denver plus 8.5. No sweat. That was war, and Denver walked in with brass knuckles and a grudge. Game 2, Toronto Maple Leafs moneyline. You saw the ice melt beneath Florida's skates. You saw Joseph Woll shut the door like a ghost in steel. Game 3, Washington and Connecticut danced under the boards, but the AI heard the rhythm and called the crescendo. Over 154.5, and they soared past it like jazz on fire. And Game 4, you thought LA was just glitz and palm trees? Sparks, plum 5.5. They didn't just cover. They made Minnesota feel the heat under those lights. This isn't guesswork. This isn't luck. This is strategy with a switchblade edge. Now for our friends in Venezuela, Dominican Republic, and Mexico. Gracias por estar aquí. 4 batallas. 4 juicios. Y en cada una la IA fue implacable. Denver plus 8.5 sin miedo. Toronto Maple Leafs, victoria de 0. Más de 154.5. Fuego entre Mystics y Sun. Sparks 6.5. Hollywood quemó a Minnesota. No es azar. No es fe. Es precisión. You watched it happen. You felt it in your gut. And now you're either walking tall or crawling back for more. Will we cash or will we burn? Like and subscribe.